Today I'm going to talk to you about how we tried to see Val di Noto in a day. This will apply equally if you are touring the Montalbano sites or the World Heritage sites. The listed sites are Caltagirone, Militello, Catania, Modica, Noto, Palazzo Acrede, Ragusa and Scicli. I'm going to talk you through what we did and what I would do differently if I did this again. To learn more about La Bella Sicilia, consider subscribing. I mapped our route to stay close to the motorway E45 as much as possible. I found the major roads were of good quality, which keeps your speed up and reduces the risk of damage to your hire car. We started from Gela at 9 AM on the south coast of Sicily with the general intention to drive to Siracusa in a single day, which is about a 2-hour drive if you do this direct. We planned our first stop, Punta Secca, which was within the hour, to visit the location of Montalbano's house from the TV series. In 2022, the owners of the house were actually extending it. They were building an additional floor. If you arrive at the square between Montalbano's house and the lighthouse before 10 AM, parking is free. We did not mess around with Enzo's restaurant by the sea, which is round the corner, or even the lighthouse, and moved straight on to Donna Lucata, as this was on our way to Scicli. I found Donna Lucata a fabulous little place. Not only is it a Montalbano backdrop, it is a beautiful seafront with interesting shops. We did hit traffic as we entered Scicli, but we did in the end drive into the main square and park there for free. In my experience, once you're outside of the cities, you usually find some elderly gents sitting in each square. I tend to have a chat with them, as they can give you very useful information and also save you time. Scicli is stunning whether you are interested in Montalbano, the history or the architecture. For me it is a must-see and I could easily spend 3 days there. Leaving Scicli, there is a steep climb which cyclists brag about. Pick your route carefully. We moved on to Marzameni for late lunch. Now I loved it, but it did polarize opinions. My suggestion is only go there if it's something you're really interested to see, as it is an effort to get to and the surrounding roads have got a number of potholes in them. From Marzameni it's a short drive to Noto, where we parked for free in the centre of the city in the late afternoon. As you approach the main gates, there's a tree-lined walk with lots of interesting stalls. We were quickly overwhelmed by a series of stunning buildings. I assumed there was only going to be 1 or 2. How wrong I was. I tend to not be easily impressed by architecture, but I have to say I was really impressed. We arrived in Siracusa approximately 7 o'clock in the evening after battling the one-way system, and promptly went for dinner in Ortigia. For me, Noto is pipped only by Scicli. Of course, my opinion is as biased and as subjective as yours. In my opinion, we chose the correct route and did the absolutely most possible in 1 day. It was a really hard drive and not to be undertaken lightly. While I wouldn't change the destinations we visited, if I did it exactly again, I would probably have avoided the climb out of Scicli, which is demanding rather than dangerous. If you have more time, of course, you could easily spend a week or even 2 weeks viewing Val di Noto. And don't forget there are beaches there also. So why didn't we see the other sites? So Donna Fugata is the house where Montalbano visits the local mafia boss Balduccio Sinagra. It was on our route and we could have gone, but in a single day we wouldn't have been able to spend enough time to make it worthwhile. For me, Ragusa Iblo was too far from the motorway. The roads were quite winding, and again, we would have lost an awful lot of time. And if we'd have gone to Ragusa Iblo, we'd probably have lost 2 other locations. The same thinking applies to Modica, Caltagirone, Militello, Palazzo Acreide, all of which are well worth the visit, but not possible in a day. I wouldn't consider going to Catania unless you've got loads of time. The traffic is as bad as it is in Palermo. It could even be worse. The parking is horrendous. One key consideration is the time of year you visit Sicily. We travelled in May, and as a consequence, Sicily was beautiful, it was green, the heat was not overwhelming, and parking was relatively straightforward. In most places, we could drive to where we wanted, park for free, in the street, and accommodation was cheaper. On the flip side, the sea is still quite cool to swim in. Of course, visiting a number of sites does not give you a chance to spend a lot of time at each, or indeed enter the buildings. I had updated my sat-nav before the trip, and I'm pleased to tell you it worked 90% of the time. I'd be interested in your thoughts if you leave them in the comments.